This beautiful Spanish city right on the Med has long been off so many people's radars. It's always sat in the shadow of more famous Mediterranean cities, Barcelona, Valencia, Malaga. And confession, Alicante has never really been on my bucket list. But clearly, I was wrong.
Wow, that is so good. Just the way that the sea is like glistening in the light. We just walked around the corner and there's this this massive church.
Today, I'm meeting with Alicante tour guides Rebecca and Alberto from Alioli Tours.
Hey Rebecca,
Hi.
How are you?
And they're going to show me the best of their city, the sights, the beaches,
The famous San Juan Beach.
and importantly, the food.
I've never seen this before.
And we start with the food at the city's Majestic Market.
Wow, I mean, it's beautiful, Rebecca, and this just shows how off my radar Alicante is that I've never even seen an image of this market. It's gorgeous.
We just celebrated the 100th anniversary. It is one of the biggest indoor markets in Spain.
Rebecca, along with husband Alberto, who we'll meet later, run Alioli Tours. They offer food and cultural tours in the city and day trips around the region. I'll link their details below. But enough talk, let's eat. We kick off at a market stall selling fresh bread and delicious baked goods.
So here we have local pastries.
Ay, muchas gracias. Huevo, tomate, atún.
Casero 100%.
¿Sí, no?
Homemade.
Vienen todos los días calentita.
And you see how,
¿A que está
big,
buena esa?
a lot of filling in there.
Pues, está muy buena. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas aquí con el puesto?
34 años.
34 años. Así que toda la vida.
Soy de viejecita ya aquí en la parada esta.
¿Ah, sí?
Desde los 16.
¿Y trabajas con familiares y...?
No, pero ya como si fuera mi padre. El
Sí, ¿no?
jefe Paco Tono, vamos. Estoy con él desde los 16 años.
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
A vosotros.
Next up, the fishmongers.
Wow, okay, I've never seen... Are these smoked? These are beautiful. You see these up here, John? Bonito de la Rache.
This whole stand
Yeah.
is focused on salazones, which are salted and dried fish.
Okay.
So if you think of back hundreds and hundreds of years ago when there wasn't electricity, how did we preserve food? This way,
Yeah.
right? This is bonito.
Okay.
It's been salted and dried, of course, and you can see they've opened it up and then they salt and dry. I'll show you another one here. These are mojama, which is the loin of a tuna.
Yeah.
Okay, this we call the jamón del mar, the ham of the sea.
The variety of Spain, it's like, I've been here 12 years. My job, guys, is to talk about this stuff. And I come to a new region and I see stuff for the first time and I get really excited, and it just shows how much how much there's to explore and understand in this country.
Alicante is known as Europe's market garden, and the region's gorgeous array of fruits and vegetables are on display here, including crops I've never seen before.
¿Cómo se llaman?
Anticot.
Es como el pepino.
Y se come crudo así en una ensalada y...
Se lava o te lo pelas, pero normalmente se come con Kieffer.
¿Se lo puede enseñar a la cámara? Sí. I mean, I've never seen this before. What's it called again?
I've never seen it.
No, I mean, maybe I'm an idiot.
But that goes to show also. James
These
lives
don't
in
get to me-
Madrid, I'm in Alicante, and we can eat different things, things you've never even seen. This is grown in Alicante.
So we're just walking through, and I mean, look at these stalls with these grapes hanging, and this one over here, the floral display above. Much better than shopping at Mercadona, I tell you what.
Much better.
Wow. All right, I know we're going to a bar next, so
Yes.
should we grab some food?
Let's go.
Every market in Spain has a bar, or two, or five, and so we head to Barra Central, where Jorge serves up gourmet tapas prepared with market-fresh produce.
This looks amazing. So what have we got, Rebecca?
Here you have kind of like a pastry here.
Yeah.
Well, it's crunchy.
Yeah.
Then you have mantequilla, butter.
Yeah. Butter, anchovy. Oh my God. That is decadent. That is very decadent. I've never had butter with an anchovy before. Está muy bueno. Está super rico, sí.
And next up, a salad that's simply tomatoes with slivers of the salted and dried fish we saw earlier. This dish is an Alicante classic, and I've never tried it.
La mojama, que es esta de aquí. Esta es la hueva de merluza, que es esta que está aquí. Y esta es la hueva de maruca.
Okay. Everything we've had here, the cooking has just been the combination the selection of the ingredients and the combination, you know? Good olive oil, a little bit of salt.
And finally, some deep fried pork belly. This I have tried before, and it's addictive.
This one's a little less healthy, but everything in moderation, right? All right. Wow. There's such a beautiful textural difference between this crunchy outside, this like pork rind, and the just juicy. You can see how juicy the middle is, and it doesn't taste too overwhelming or oily, right? No vamos a poder tomar todo porque tenemos que comer mucho.
Eso lo acabas. No serás el primero que no se la acabe.
Sí, ¿no?
No puedes ser el primero.
¿Cuál es un dicho alicantino que tenemos que aprender?
Alicantino, borracho y fino.
Eso es.
Alicantino, borracho y fino. Muy bien.
Next, we jump into a taxi and head up the hill to explore the historic and beautiful Santa Cruz neighborhood, which dates back to the 8th century and sits in the shadow of the city's sprawling 9th century castle.
Just make sure I don't get run over by this guy. All right. So obviously, like in July, August, it gets pretty hot. Like what it's like in summer, is it bearable, and what it's like in winter.
It does get cold in winter.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on where you're from. July and August get very, very hot. We're talking about 35 degrees Celsius, and what makes it feel so hot is the humidity.
But today, in late April, it's a comfortable 18 degrees Celsius or 66 Fahrenheit.
Just got a glimpse here of this Santa Cruz neighborhood. You know, Alicante is like this color, the sand, the yellow sand, the blue sky. But then we see all this white and blue. It's beautiful.
So this is very typical of the Barrio Santa Cruz, or the blue, that royal blue color.
This is intense blue.
Nowadays, there's only about 2,000 people that live up in this area. As you can see already, there's a lot of stairs. There's nowhere to park your car, so it's not easy to live here.
So, you know, although there are tourist apartments, Rebecca was just saying, and we're seeing, there are still locals here. You know, there's people with their dog, you know, coming out and doing the washing in the morning and things like that. So, you know, some people have obviously decided that this is still a lifestyle worth living.
We delve deeper into the newer, though still historic, part of Barrio Santa Cruz.
Yeah, it's still El Barrio, it's still the old town.
Okay.
But we're not going to be walking up and down stairs.
Okay. Look at this up here. They always seem to put the palm tree in the perfect spot. As you come around the corner and there's a beautiful church and a palm tree in front of it. So we're moving now into the older part, the less old part, but these buildings are beautiful. Just look at this up here. We just walked around the corner and there's this like, this massive church. And I see this text, this sundial. So what is this building?
This is the Concatedral San Nicolás de Alicante. So this is our main church in Alicante City.
And as well as the sundial, there's these fascinating letters painted on the facade. They're 200 to 300 years old and often commemorate a religious event or an important theological discussion that took place here.
I kind of love the fact that there's no windows in it. It's just, there's something kind of desert-like about it, like you would come across this temple in the desert.
The historic center is awash with gorgeous old apartment buildings and wide plazas dotted with restaurant terraces for long lunches in the sun. And everywhere, the city is punctuated by these towering palm trees. We work our way down to the waterfront where locals are wandering along the palm-lined Esplanada de España. And I realized that I may be developing a bit of a crush on Alicante. But enough sentimentality. It's time for more food. Aaron and Silvia welcome us into Cento, a tiny tapas bar just off the main drag.
Now this is a bar.
And we're here to try a dish that won Best Tapa in Alicante a few years back.
Ole, ole, ole. ¿Qué pinta tiene? Y tiene nueces, que eso es bueno. Eso es sano, eso es sano. The walnuts, the beef, loin, turron, I heard him saying. Normally this would say James and Yoli, but Yoli's not on this trip. I got John with me this time. So. All right. I've never had ham with my name on it before, but I'll save some for you, John. That's so good. That is so good. But what I'm really excited about is one of these for you, Rebecca, or not? Or is it for John?
That's John's.
That is indecent. Intense sweetness from the turrón, but then the juiciness of the meat. Está muy bueno. John, you want to have a bite? yeah. John's Basque, so he knows his food, so you know.
Never tried something like this before. Very nice.
Aaron, Silvia, muchísimas gracias. Sí, sí.
Rebecca has to head off to give a tour, and so she hands us off to her husband and fellow tour guide Alberto.
Encantado. How are you? Okay. I feel like I'm being kidnapped, thrown into a van.
Yeah, we're kidnapping. Come on.
He's going to take us up the coast to check out Alicante's beaches and enjoy an epic local dish that is not a paella.
Already I feel like the city's changed a little bit, right? You got the sea breeze, it's much more open, the smell of the water, right?
That if you're born here, you're used to this.
Is the beach a big part of the culture? Like people go to the beach just
at the
every day?
Me, I grew up in the city center.
Yeah.
And if it was not shopping, the other thing you could do, going to the beach.
Going to the beach. So it really is part of the culture of the city.
We check out the golden sand beaches that are right on Alicante's doorstep. First, the city beach, the bustling Playa del Postiguet. Then, only a few more minutes up the coast by car or a brief tram ride, we visit the Playa de la Albufereta.
And there's this gorgeous beach with kids playing. We're in April, there's people swimming.
Alberto takes us further north to one of the many little deserted calas or coves that dot the coastline.
There's no one here.
That's it. And even in summer. Like you come in summer and you can be here by yourself.
And the water is so clear.
The water is super clear. Over here you can swim, you can take your kayak, your paddleboard, anything. You got a nice access to here.
Then it's back in the van to keep heading north to a lookout where we can see one of the famous and longest beaches of the region.
Over here we have the famous San Juan beach, La Playa de San Juan. In summer all the vibe in the city will move to this place.
It's a huge beach. I think you said earlier, like
6 kilometers.
6 kilometers, and it's a beautiful kind of curving beach. And so this is another area that you can get on the tram, right?
That's
15,
it.
20 minutes on
The tram is 15 minutes.
Wow.
You got the tram. There is 2 lines that it comes here, and it passes each 10 minutes. You got the tram coming to this way.
But we're not here to hit the beach. We're heading to Playa San Juan to eat. But before we do, I have to point out the tram system here is fantastic. It runs all the way from Alicante City north to Denia, passing through famous towns like Benidorm, Calpe and Altea, and making the whole coast extremely accessible if you don't own a car.
So right along the 6 kilometer beach, Alberto was saying there's 6 stops of the tram.
6 stops on the way.
From the city all the way up here.
And that goes all the way to the town of El Campello. That will be the next town after here.
So Alberto was saying there's one hotel along this whole 6 kilometer beach, right?
There's just one and a little hostel. That's all.
And so this is why it doesn't get overwhelmed. I mean, it's busy in summer, right? But is it more locals that are coming here, as you're saying?
It's locals. You can see right now, probably most of the people are from here. And after there's no hotels, there's not so much accommodation for people visiting. So it stays like without not too many people.
Alberto leads us into Casa Domingo, a classic chiringuito or beach restaurant that's famous for its local rice dishes.
Salud, John.
First, Alberto shows me the proper way to eat ensaladilla rusa, Spain's most famous potato salad.
Show me how you do it. When you're with
big table, what we do is we do like this.
Yeah.
Big piece of it. You put this over here and then you eat it.
I don't use your ensaladilla, but
Go ahead. My dad.
It's pretty good.
I have one phobia in my life, and that is the fear of people talking with their mouth, talking while they're eating ensaladilla and seeing it inside their mouth.
And here we got the potatoes with alioli.
Yeah.
It sounds very stupid because it's very simple, but it's fantastic. First of all, this is real alioli.
Yeah.
So that means garlic, olive oil, few drops of lemon that you want to help to emulse together and don't break it apart.
Yeah.
And like everything in life, love, time and passion. You start with the mortar and it starts growing.
I do love real homemade alioli, not the mayonnaise stuff you
That's
get.
it.
I hate that stuff. This is the real
This is
deal.
a good one.
Oh yeah. The strong garlic. The garlic is so intense in that. Vicks Vapor Rub, right? Alicantino style.
That will help you
My
during the cold
sinuses
winter.
are clear. The clams in there with all this beautiful juice. Wow. Okay. Ooh. I didn't expect that. That is so good.
The flavor of the sea, right?
Yeah, but also the bay leaf, the laurel, you can really taste that.
The onion, a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, there's a herbalness there. Exactly, the sweet onion. And with this sauce, the one thing you've got to do, right, is get the bread in there. Can you see that, John? This sauce is amazing. Wow. I lost some bread. It is so good. I did not expect that.
And now for the main event.
Muchas gracias. I have a question. We're in Alicante, we're not in Valencia. Is this a paella?
That's not a paella, guys.
It's not a paella.
Here in Alicante we eat rice.
Rice.
Arroz.
Arroz.
So if you are in a restaurant later on and you see the word paella somewhere in Alicante, run out of there as soon as you can. We're gonna have the clams, we're gonna have the red prawns already peeled.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the mussels.
Yeah.
And the fish is monk fish.
Am I going in first?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. You want to get in there?
Just look
John,
down.
you can see there's like a crust on top.
But you see how the grain is loose between.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Really intense.
Intense flavor.
yeah.
I can see al dente a little bit.
The rice is a little al dente. Yeah, perfectly cooked.
You can do like this. You do like a few points around. So
Okay.
this way you got it. And no matter where you get, you always can go into the alioli
Okay.
and grab it there.
You know, so many people often, when they think of rice dishes in Spain, I keep wanting to say paella. It's a dirty word here in Alicante. You know, they think of the stuff on top, the protein, but really the focus is the rice. You know, it's the flavor, because that's what sucks up all the flavor from the broth.
And one of the keys, how thin the rice on the pan.
It's like one layer, you know, maybe two of rice with that little crust. Wow. Ole Alicante. Ole tú. Ole Alberto. So John, the camera guy, lives in Valencia. So let's see what he thinks.
Oh wow! I can see that this is really something. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, right?
Really, really, really good.
Muchas gracias.
Our bellies full of rice, we head to our last stop, the magnificent 9th century Santa Barbara Castle that sits perched above Alicante.
Here is the main fortress of Alicante, one of the biggest fortresses in cities in Spain.
We say goodbye to Alberto and head into the castle. Make sure you check out Alioli's tours around the city and the region. I'll drop their link down below.
The last act, we've got to work off that paella. Arroz, oh my God.
I expected a simple castle, but what we discover is a sprawling maze of medieval buildings and towers. It was built by the Moors in the 9th century, but the site is much older, with Bronze Age and Roman archaeological artifacts having been found on the mountain slopes.
Wow. It just keeps going on and on. It's huge. There's like restaurants and bars and cafeterias.
This castle, like Alicante, has totally defied my expectations. I came here expecting a low-key city on the Med, but I've discovered a city that's vibrant, beautiful, delicious, and wonderfully welcoming. And I can't wait to come back.
If you're also curious to know what Alicante, you know, the province, this area is like in the winter, we made a video, which you can watch up here, where we went to Altea, a town just a little bit to the north in the winter. And tell you what, the sun was shining. So we'll see you over there in a minute. Ciao.